Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top four leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Divisions, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. Well, good evening and welcome to this edition of the IslandStats.com football show here on IslandStats.com. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me is co-host Andrew Griffith. We are waiting the arrival of Garrett Punchy Dill. First of all, Griff, let me say congratulations for the North Village Rams. I know you're a big supporter, and so is Punchy. So I guess Punchy's getting ready to help buff the cup that they'll get presented in their when they play their final match. But let me just run down the results from this past weekend in Premier Division. It was on Friday night at the Devonshire Recreation Club. It was Devonshire Cougars 4, Young Man Social Club 1. Last night at the PHC Stadium, it was PHC Zebras 3, Dandytown Hornets 1. Over at the BAA Field, it was Wolves 2, Paget Lions 4. And then today in Premier Division action, the North Village Rams were crowned the 2024-25 Premier Division champions following their 4-0 win over Devonshire Colts at the Police Field. And down at Wellington Oval, it was Hamilton Parish 2, St. George's Colts 5. That result means Hamilton Parish are officially the first club to be relegated from the Premier Division this season. The final spot will be determined on the final day of the season between Wolves and Young Man Social Club. Then in the First Division today, over at the BAA Field, it was Robin Hood 3, Crossroads 2. Following the game, Crossroads were presented the First Division trophy as they were promoted along with the Boulevard Blazers. Up at White Hill Field, it was Somerset Eagles 0, Somerset Trojans 8. And then at Wellington Oval, it was St. David's 1, Vasco 2. And those were the results from this past weekend. Griff, well, first of all, let's jump into, obviously, the bigger news is today, North Village getting over the hurdle they couldn't get over last season, which was claiming the league title, not making sure it's not going to go down to the final day of the season as it did last year. And, the fact that they would have been facing that same foe of PHC, they still have to face PHC. But going into the final game now, knowing that they have the league title sewn up because they're 4 points ahead with the one game to play. But take us through today. Obviously, a bit rough early. It took until the 37th minute before North Village took the lead with Jonte scoring. Did that settle nerves early?
I would say no. In the beginning, it was very tense, and it was good to see. It's a beautiful sunny day. It was a very good crowd, and everybody was poised. There were a lot of PHC fans there that were waiting to see the outcome of the game. So It was a good crowd there, and it was a lot of anticipation. And it's good to see the sport generating that type of incitement where it will go on. It could possibly go on to the last day of the season. And there are a lot of neutral fans that were there too, that were hoping that it went on to the last day of the season. But as somebody that wears red, we were hoping that it didn't go to the last day of the season. Because
memories of a year ago coming back.
Yeah, and yes, it's vivid. I don't know what it's like for the players, but as a fan, you remember. And to be honest, I don't think if Village had to win that game, they would have won that game. So today's game was crucial, and for large parts in the beginning, it was very even. Like even the 4-0, it's not indicative of how the game went. Like a lot of those goals were late. So
yes,
in the beginning, it was very even. It was give and take, and I would say DJ Bauer to put up a lot of saves. Like one a long range of it, he tipped and hit the bar and went up one corner. So They could have been in the game. It was close and it was tense, and it wasn't until it got like at 2-0. It's like, okay, we got a little space. It wasn't until 3-0 where people exhaled, and that's fine. I don't want to speak out of turn, and that's when a lot of the PHC fans left. But it was tense up even at 2-0. It was close.
Right.
Devonshire Colts played a good game.
Yeah, that second goal coming early in the second half, in the 52nd minute. Obviously, you say a little bit of breathing room, but still you're looking at the clock saying there's still a lot of time on here. And if Devonshire Colts can get one, it changes the whole dynamics of the game.
And they were still attacking. They were good, and they were creating chances at 2-0. So it wasn't over even at 2-0.
Right. But obviously, getting over the hurdle, that the own goal, making it 3-0, and then a goal in the 90th minute. Obviously, now everybody from in the red, now the focus for the fans per se turns to who's going to be healthy for the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Will we have everybody, because the league's been decided. You still have a league game to play, and as we had Patches on last week or week before last, and he was talking about it's not time to celebrate until that last game. But I'm pretty sure he will feel pretty good going into that last game, knowing that his attention now could be focused on keeping everybody healthy for the FA Cup final, because now that's their next biggest game.
And I'm sure the Cougars and Kwame Sneed, their coach, he will be thinking the same way. Let's just get everybody, get a run out, make sure they're sharp, and the final. I think the final will be a good game. Cougars, I think, are firing on all cylinders right now, so it'll be a very good game. Yeah,
let's actually jump to that game on Friday night, Cougars and Young Men Social Club. It was a battle because the game was very tight at 1-1 for quite some time. But then in the second half, Cougars would run away, scoring 3 goals in that second half. That kind of ended the night for Young Men Social Club, making them still sweat it out, because if they, they're only 3 points ahead of Wolves, and they were playing ahead of Wolves, knowing that, if they got a win or got a point, it kind of made it that much more difficult for Wolves playing the next night. But we talked about Social Club early in the season getting early points, which has put them in a good position. And we're joined now by
Hey Punchy.
Guys. Hey Punchy, how you doing? When Cougars start scoring, it kind of puts Social Club on their back foot.
Definitely, and I was at Devonshire Record yesterday afternoon for a Masters game, and a lot of the Cougars fans were saying exactly what you're saying. It's like, okay, they're just going to do what they're going to do, but we're waiting for you. We're waiting for the FA Cup final, and we're prepared to take you. Like, it's not going to be a walkover. The FA Cup final, like, we won our trophy as well.
Yeah. Well, we are joined by Punchy. Punchy, obviously, you're with North Village, still celebrating, but still got some work to do. I think his frozen there.
Yeah.
Maybe he log out and log back in, Punchy, if you can, and we'll see if we can get you on. But then last night, Griff, last night's game, obviously, PHC, knowing that North Village is playing today, had to do the business to keep the pressure on, and we all know that it's not always easy when but gotta win to keep that pressure on, and obviously early in the game, nerves are there, and you're playing against a team that has beaten you already this season, but they're going through a little bit of trouble as well. But getting that early goal or getting the free kick from Keyshawn, and then settling in to that 1-0 lead at the half, and then Punchy's back. I'll come to you in a few seconds, Punchy. And then getting that second goal, but then having a player sent off, knowing that it's going to be a long 31 minutes that you have to kind of hold out, and then right after that, Danny Town score. So even more pressure. Your thoughts on PHC?
So I thought in that game, it was a little bit of a weird game because PHC, you would have thought, because if they win, they're still in it. But Dandytown dominated possession at the early stages.
Right.
And when they got the free kick and PHC scored, it was against their run of play. So they were fortunate to be up 1-0. And then still Dandytown kept attacking and attacking and attacking. And PHC seemed to be sitting back. So that it seemed a little weird to me. I didn't understand it. And even the going forward after that and getting the second goal. Again, a bit against the run of play. So when Dandytown scored and then got a 2-1, and then the PHC player was sent off. Okay, wow, this is gonna be a barn burner.
Right.
It's gonna go at it, and like this could happen. It could be 2-2 because looking as a Village fan, 2-2, the league's over tonight.
Right.
But inexplicably, Dandytown seemed to play. PHC seemed to play better with 10 men, and it looked like Dandytown had a player sent off.
Right.
So it looked a little. The game was a little disjointed and weird. I can't explain it.
Sure. I wanna go to Punchy because I can tell he's at Bernard Park. Congratulations, Punchy. Your thoughts on today's performance for North Village overall? I mean, beating Devonshire Coast 4-0. In a game that wrapped up the league with a game to play.
Yes, sorry, my apologies for being late, you guys. I had to get a lift on here from the field. But
Okay.
I wanted to, talk to my nephews and stuff like that. Real good performance. I think they put in a professional performance today. What was required, they done. I think the other thing is about, again, if you have prolific scores, especially like Jonte and Jai,
Right.
I think they just showed a real professional approach to this game today. And it was really like aspects of the game where Norfolk was really, they just really played with a lot of enthusiasm. They just knew. For me, it like they thought was that, like, we got to win this game. We don't want to be playing next week on the no pressure. And they acted accordingly. They played accordingly. Yeah.
Definitely.
I think.
Yeah. Good.
I think what I have to say about this is that, again, from watching North Village over this season, they've been difficult to beat. You're not going to get a lot of chances against them, right? But they got prolific goal scorers. Jonte's goal, the first goal was just like, you could see his. Can actually, the first goal that he scored, the goal that was scored, and Jai, I have to give also applaud Jai Beam. He put the ball was put on the right side. He beat his defender. Then he put the ball on his left side and just about put the ball in the area for Jonte. Jonte just timed it well because there was defender in front of him, but he seemed like he anticipated the cross that was going to beat the defender and then nodded it to the back post. So that's been a plus. I just think that, again, overall performances, I can call the names at the back, Terrence Frey, they've been very solid. The young man that, I'm sorry, but he got injured. His name, they call him Jazz. And I was speaking to him. He was, no nonsense. And I think North Village has shown this year that defending well, playing as a good unit, and having good goal scores, especially in Jai Beam and Jonte Smith. It's you could see it today. Yeah. And I think also bringing back the young Amir Deal, who was instrumental in setting up. He came on as a winger, and he was instrumental in the last 2 goals that were scored.
Right.
But I just thought that overall, that you've seen the performance of very good organized team that at times weren't playing good, but they just know how to get the job done. I think they did really well today, and they showed today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I congratulated Griff. I congratulate you as well, and North Village, because we all remember, and I think a lot of people, except the North Village fans, was hoping to have that dramatic finish as they did last year, as it came down to the last game of the season, 90 minutes against PHC, the defending champions. But that's kind of all negated now. The only thing that PHC could do is beat North Village the last game of the season and finish 1 point behind them. But when you look at it, it's been a season to remember for a team like North Village bouncing back from the end of last season, and they had that chance in the FA Cup to kind of bounce back from what happened to them in that FA Cup, and the fact that now the guy that scored a hat trick against them in that final is actually wearing their colors.
So Earl, like if this was a Netflix special, you call it like a season of redemption, would you?
Well, you could say that a season of redemption for them, yeah. But I honestly think a lot of people would say that had they done it last year, would you think they would have been able to carry on this year?
Had who done that? That Village one?
Yeah. Or do you think they were like pushed to go one better than they did last year?
I think it's the latter. I think you have to go through that pain to appreciate where you have to get to put in the actual work. It's difficult to repeat because you've been to the summit, you tasted the champagne. I don't think you're as desperate as you are until you get there. Right.
I think to add to that, I do mention this, and North Village is one of the oldest teams in the league. I think what Patches has done, the coach has done, is bring a real camaraderie to the team when he took over. Mm-hmm. And I think the work rate, the defensive work rate has helped. Like today, and sometimes there were chances where the Devonshire Colts were taking possession of the game. But at times, Norfolk is still steadfast. They just defended well. And I do appreciate the fact that what I've seen is that these stores like Terrence Frey, and I got to give kudos also to Detroit Bow, the goalkeeper, mm-hmm. who's been outstanding and organized in the defense. And I think I heard it was about I think it was in about the 75th minute, and Terrence Frey was putting his hands up like, "Hey, coach, I want to come off," because he would make substitutions. And Patches, the coach, said, no, you're not coming off. No, you're staying on for the rest of the season. So I think, when you got this,
Punchy, that was punishment. Okay,
Griff.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that Terrence Frey brings a real, as a senior person, he brings real organization. You always seeing him just organize the team. He ain't got much to say. He does it, but he does his vocal instructions are real good. And he just organizes. And it's been, I think that's been paramount for our success. That's how. But I think overall, the team is more a very good defensive team, mm-hmm. right? With the counter-attacking, and then I'll just repeat it. But if you got Jai Bean and Jonte Smith, I mean, wow, they can win the game, but they win the games by themselves.
Yeah. But Punchy, just to answer that, I think you're being too nice. For all your senior players, that's what they should do. D-Train and Tarrant are senior players. You should take responsibility and organize your team.
There you go.
You don't got to pat on your back for that. That's what you should do. So if you have a senior player in your team that still acts like he's a 20-year-old, that's a bad senior player.
Thank you, Mr. Griff. I think that's what we're talking about here too, Griff. I'm just making mention of that about when you have a senior player, seniority. Again, I'm gonna go back to when I was playing. We have Joe Trott, Sam Newsom, Merv Bean, God bless his soul, Randy Bean, my brother Cal, all the Mogul from Maine, Cracks. I mean, what I'm saying is that Cracks Robertson, there was no. These guys were like, they nurtured you. And I think that's what Norfolk is, even with the seniority, like a person like Terrence Frey, which you're not getting in a lot of teams now.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's take our first commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk about Paget and Wolves, and obviously now relegated Hamilton Parish and St. George's Colts. We'll be right back.
Putting down the weapons.
You seen this?
You shouldn't have to sacrifice fresh quality groceries for convenience. With Drop It, you get the best of Lindo's delivered island-wide from Somerset to St. George's. It's simple. Shop online and we'll bring it to you. Spend less time shopping and more time for what matters most. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Pages silence, proudly Bermudian. Bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian. Digital is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, last night over at the BAA Field, you had Wolves looking to close the gap on Young Men Social Club, knowing that they had played the night before and lost. They were taking on a Paget Lions team who are looking to finish the season strong. They still have a game in hand that they have to play, and it is actually against Young Man Social Club, and I believe that match will be played next week or at some point this week. When you look at it, Griff, Paget did what they needed to do to get the 3 points, and it keeps the pressure on Social Club. They had Diaje Hart score all 4 goals, and he then overtook Jonte and Jai in the leading goal scoring department. But you know, for Paget, this has been a season that they would remember and want to kind of grow upon after, you know, doing what they done last season to, you know, to get to where they are today and building on that team success.
Yeah, I would agree. But we have a guest that's showing up in the frame with.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Sorry, we're a bit late. Let's go ahead, you guys. But I thought I'd bring the coach, Norfolk's coach. You know,
No worries. Well, actually,
having a word for him. Sorry, I'm interrupted. I thought I'd get him from all this interaction.
Okay.
And you guys can ask some questions. You know.
Yeah. Well, first of all, congratulations, Patches. Job well done. But remember when you were on here last, you were talking about you know, the celebration won't happen until that last game. Have you played that last game now that you won that title?
No, we ain't played the last game. But the last game is already dealt with. We dealt with that today.
Right.
As a unit, as a supporting staff, we done it today.
Right.
You know, all the commitment that the players have given me. that we've given each other.
Right.
You know, I had to be committed to make sure I showed up for them to show up.
Right.
And that's what it's been. It's been a commitment. And it's just allowing these guys to enjoy some time away from the families.
Right.
Come to the field, come to the job, do the job. We can win. We could do whatever we like. But we have to put our 100% in what we are trying to achieve. And of course, the first line.
Yeah.
One more line left. Yeah. So yes, enjoyed ourselves tonight, but Tuesday we're back to business.
Sure. Now we were, talking about that, before you came on, talking about, how the setup goes for a team like PHC, because you have your next cup final is obviously what you're looking forward to. You want to make sure that you have a good team tactic, good, everybody healthy. But how do you focus on the final, knowing that you have a game in between that, because the job's already done for the league?
Well, at the end of the day, the first job's done. So I do have some players that might need to get minutes. You know what I mean? So I might have to start them just so they can get minutes under the belt, because I might need them at the FA finals. And then if they didn't have minutes, then they probably need them, or they're going to struggle. So now that we have achieved and wrapped up the league's wrapped up.
Right.
That's not, the league's wrapped up.
Yeah.
So now, as a team, as a family unit, we can now say, you sit down there on the bench and you let this guy start, because this guy's been here the whole time that y'all been starting and finishing games and thus set for Niners. Give them a chance, because now you guys have, I'm going to tell you this before, you guys have put everybody else in a position to enjoy the moments that you have given them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a starting and a finishing.
Right.
And you don't change. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go.
So Patrick, we talked about it before, but I don't know what the feeling was like with you down on the bench and what was on the field. But I can tell you, up on the bank, it was, in the first 30 minutes, it was tense. Because a lot of the Village fans were like, hey, we didn't want to go to the last year and needed to beat PHC in the last game. So as it went, it was very tense. There was a lot of PHC fans with her. They were also waiting. They were like, oh yeah, we want you next week. So everybody it was all tense until that press go went in. And after the press go went in, it was still tense. Because Colts was still going. Detroit made a few saves, but how did you feel going through the game and the team, you think?
Games played in 90 minutes, bro. Simple as that. It's played in 90 minutes. You can get pressure in the game. You can get enjoyment in the game. How do you react as a unit? How do you react as a unit to absorb the pressure and still play your game?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to ask Coach something else, too, that I think he's brought to North Village this year when he took over, is that their defensive behavior. Like, there was a chance that I saw late in the first half where the ball was put in the app, and then one defensive midfielders went back and tracked him. It could have been a goal. But I'm saying, Coach, what I've noticed a lot is that you brought a lot of responsibility to the players defending when they don't have the ball. And I think that's all. Would you credit that to your success? Would you credit to where the team is? Because I think, as I keep saying on the show, that you have two very good goal scorers. But what a lot of people don't understand also what you've been able to create defensively for North Village.
Defensive, win championships. Attackers win games.
Very good, Coach.
So you have to set up from your back going forward. You could always change going forward. You can't change at your back. So you have to get a stability at your back first. So as a coach, that's what I'm learning coming up, is that I have to start from my back going forward. So that's why I was set up in a defensive position for the whole league. I just need my defender stop goals. The guys up in front of them, they're good enough to school girls. And we might create a lot of girls and not school them.
So
But we're gonna
you're
score
saying,
1 or 2.
you're saying you don't want to win 18 4 or 5 games or 6-4 games?
Why? I got in a game 1-0 in a minute.
Well, statistically, you guys, I've taken statistics for them in terms of goals conceded. It's twice as good as from last year. And how the goals are, if the goals are conceded. In the first game against Social Club, right? But the statistics that I have is that the goals that are conceded by Norfolk is now, you have to really work hard, or it's a mistake by maybe a defender. So I think you've added that also to the team. You know, again, what I do understand is that, you know, I do say this also, sorry, fellas, you got one of the oldest teams in the league. And it looks like that camaraderie with that, is it, and then you add a lot of you add some youngsters that have been overseas, like you brought Omer Dill back today. But I still think that what I found out is that it's worked with the way you've set the team up, that the team is very responsible in the behavior for defending, if that makes any sense.
Yes. So from jump, win your battle. When you come, you're a defender, I'm gonna ask you, where you play? So I can play defense. I can put you in defense, win your battle. Yeah, win your battle. You know what I mean? If you can't win your battle, I'm gonna put somebody else in there. That's say as a defender, win your battles. Because defense, like I say, a defenses win trophies. Because if you can't score, I'm stealing the game.
Right.
But I can score because of what I've got up top. And that's a blessing. That's a blessing. Jonte and Joy is a blessing to North Village. You hear me?
Yeah.
Jonte was a blessing to St. Jordan's too.
Right.
You've been on this show before, and you said coming in after the season started, you said all you wanted to put out there was for them to enjoy the football. And now that they've won the league, it's easy to look back on that and say, oh yeah, they had a good time. But do you believe that they really enjoyed playing this season?
They had to, Griff. They had to, because that's why they're where they are now. You don't get nowhere if you don't enjoy it, you know. You got to enjoy the ride. Yeah? So when you get to the ride, if you're leading, you see a finish line, I want to get across that line in front. And then you can step up. You can step up. You can step up. I can tell you today in the game, Coach could have had 1-0.
Right.
Yeah.
DJ Kyle made 2 saves. Yeah? And then we're at after that. So now, but you have to make these men believe in what they could do.
So the flip side to what you said, you can have a jockey ride the fast horse, and he just whipped him 100 times getting around the track, and he got over the line.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. Because that's what that jockey had to do. To get this guy across the line first. I'm gonna whip you 100 times, but let's go. That's good, bro. Because I'm a local coach. Yeah, I'm a local coach, bro.
Right.
Straight up. Yeah. But what I want to do with this is make the fans come back out. People that want to sit in and say, I can't. Come out and watch Village. If that's your team, come out and watch PAC. Come out and watch Cougars. Come out to my Boulevard. If that's your team, we're gonna bring the football back for people to come and enjoy it. And not only enjoy it, man, you're winning. So yeah. So at the end of the day, you're gonna come out of one losing.
You know what I found today? Just looking at it was a nice sunny day. It was a good crowd there today. And it was Village fans, it was Coach fans, it's a lot of PAC fans, there's other fans there. It felt like a good community day. And I took away a lot from that today. That was the good part for me.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. And that's another thing, man. Football is an outlet and a family-oriented sport. Cricket, same way, Bermuda. That's our 2 major sports. Mm-hmm. They are family-oriented sports. Yes? Yeah. So we as coaches, as people of Bermuda, we need to just make sure everybody comes and feels comfortable. and we could all make it.
True.
Just come and be comfortable.
True.
Yeah.
Well, let us let you go back and enjoy the time with your players. As you said, enjoy tonight, but you're back to work on Tuesday.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Hey,
man.
We got the Quran now. We got the Quran.
But yes, and then talk to Kume, and we gotta do something before the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
Looks like his stakes are rising, aren't they? His stakes are rising.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get back to we were talking about Paget. Obviously, they've had what they would consider a good season, and obviously in the off season they'll look to build on getting more players into the camp, into the field, and making that team even stronger. They saved a penalty when it was 4-2 late in the game. Jade Morrissey made a good save from a penalty, but you look at a team like Paget and you say, job well done.
Yep, I think that definitely finished it strong after picking against them. I always did Paget people out there. I picked for you this week. You thought it was gonna happen. I was right. So they finished it strong. They look good. The striker got 4 goals. How far on top is he for the Golden Boot?
He's up by 1 now.
By 1, okay.
Because both Jai and Jonte scored today.
Right. So it's making it interesting. So Paget are looking strong, and he'll still be around for a while. But again, like what we were saying just now, North Village just got an older team in a lot of places. Paget has a lot of those. It's the regeneration of the teams as you're going home. What will happen next season as the older players transition out? That's going to be a big thing in the off season.
Yeah.
Good point, Griff. Good point. I just think you're right. We're talking about Paget. I think I'm so happy for Paget in terms of I spoke with Antoine. I said, Antoine, you almost started from scratch 3 or 4 years ago. You're rebuilding an institution. He's trying to rebuild. He's doing good about rebuilding an institution, and it takes time. Yeah. But at least for me, he has stability there, and that result today, right, is a perfect example. Or yesterday, it's a perfect example of building. Now they're not in no competition. They're not in the FA. They haven't won nothing, but they've been very close.
Yeah.
So that just for me just builds momentum, and it builds something you could build on. Mm-hmm. And I just think Paget is a perfect example of what it should be done like. And you look back on the other teams that are suffered. I mean, Social Club, I'm not talking, and Wolves. I think Paget is a perfect example of stability, organization, and then players want to go and play. And then, of course, that area is producing good footballers too, Paget. Yeah.
So let me just play just to keep the show going and drive Twitter crazy. So let's ask the question. Is Paget's success, is it Antoine or is it the club?
I'm sorry, say it again, Griff. Is
Paget's success, is it Antoine and his ability to use the players he has, motivate them, and recruit? Or is it Paget itself?
It's a bit of both, and I'll say that because knowing the club has supported older players, and that's been since their inception. They've always supported, and no matter who's in charge, they've always shown that support. Knowing the older guys that play for Paget through the years, you could see the support from the club itself and the organization, and that's just continued on today. Now the fact that they have some younger guys with talent, and you've seen them as Punchy said, Antoine's been able to grow them into a working unit together, and that's for years. Paget's always had good players, but it's always been individual players. Now there seems to be a team, a unit that is working together that are reaping benefits, like you said, in the FA Cup semi-final.
Let me draw the parallel then, because it's a good, and I live in that area. It's good as a community vibe, and bring it up. But I would also say Wolves has that same vibe. all the players from the area. Hamilton Parish has that same vibe, but they go up and down, up and down, up and down, and it depends on who's there, what players are there. So could Paget be in that same vein?
Well, when you refer to a team like Wolves, and Punch has been saying it for years, they have an abundance of players, but the structure is what lets them down, and their organizational skills together is what lets them down. That they were the better team in the first division last year, the second better team in the first division last year, organized to come up, but they got through that through a sheer talent of a handful of guys. You know what I mean? Where it should this year, that handful of guys will struggle because any team that they come up against organized is going to beat them. Whereas if you look at Paget, Antoine has learned how to organize them over the last few years that he's been in charge, and he's got them believing in the organization and believing in one another. So it actually helps them to grow.
Good point, girl. And good question too, Griff. That's what we're talking about here. The difference between why Paget, what Paget is achieving compared to what Wolves are. And I think you guys are right. What touched on this subject. Yeah. Let's say, for instance, I would say Paget goes on a Saturday afternoon. They got to go down to St. George's and play against St. George's at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. They're ready.
Yeah.
They're ready. They're ready for a Saturday night of PAC to play against Social Club. So the point is that the structure has helped them to what they're trying to do. And I got to give the whole Paget, what the club itself, from the president, what they're trying to do there.
Yeah.
And it's worked. And I keep saying that when you have to play away from him on a Saturday or a Friday night, and you got to play Denny Time on a Friday night at which would happen to Crossroads also. It's about the structure, steady. You just want to just compete, keep steady, and then as you start staying there, you start recruiting. I think that's what's happened with Paget.
Yeah.
It's a perfect example of how you survive. And along with Antoine and Griffith, I think we might have answered some of the what you asked about. Is it Antoine or is it Paget players or is it structure? I think it's a combination of everything. You're right, Earl.
Yeah. Well, let's turn our attention to the first official relegated team in Hamilton Parish. They went down 5-2 to St. George's. They're now 6 points behind Young Men Social Club. They can't catch them, or 5 points behind Social Club. They can't catch them with one game to play. But it's got to be disappointing for Hamilton Parish. Obviously, Sergio, had a lot of ideas and a lot of potential, but just not being able to get the numbers out for training and for game days has let them down.
So the question now becomes, can they retain a lot of those players and make an immediate jump back? Because if you looked at like Somerset, you thought Somerset would have came right back up.
Right.
They helped with some of the good young players, but it's not that easy. So do you think they'll, first of all, hold on to Sergio and then hold on to the players and come right back up?
Well, I mean that's all up to the individuals that are there. Do they want to start all over again and help rebuild the club? How much are they into the club itself to want to see the club prosper? And then in order to do that, you have to, over the years, a team like Hamilton Parish has had Hamilton Parish players. It's been a community club, on the field and off the field type thing. And some players wanna experiment in challenging themselves in other places. So the hanging on to the better players to help rebuild around, that's going to be their biggest challenge, and it's convincing those players that this club is for you, what you've built and what could be your legacy at the club, as opposed to going and doing it for somebody else, making somebody else champions and so forth. And then you have to also look at the one thing that you have to look at is, if you couldn't make training at Parish, you can't, because of commitment, how are you going to commit to another club? and not give that to your club that you kind of left hanging.
Good point, though. That's a very good point. Because I think what's going to happen in Bermuda also, I think what's happening is that I was like, well, so where are the best players from Hamilton Parish going to go? Do they want to stay there? Are they going to want to leave? And it's just like at Wolves. Wolves got some good young players there. The Sharif, I think it's Sharif brothers.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the next step for them? To stay with Wolves? Or say, you know what? I'm going to give myself a go for something else. I think allegiance to Wolves from that area now, it's going to become, I see it fading away in Bermuda. We still have it at Paget now, don't get me wrong, but right. Paget has added something else to what they've done for success. And that's because, again, kudos to the management and to Antoine, who's a young coach. But I think at Parish, and we're talking about Sergio Agudo, who's also on the national program, what's happened there? Yeah. And that's a good for case study. I don't know. I just don't see them. It's going to be a while. Because I think the best players like this guy, Niels Lewis' son. Oh, wow. I mean, is he going to stay there? It's better than going on play against Sunday afternoons against the Robin Hood. I'm not saying about Robin Hood or Vasco. He needs to be in a better team. Right. In a better environment, a better organization. That's what I feel about that.
Well, I mean, you look at it, not saying that it hasn't happened before, but if he has aspirations of getting into the national team, he's going to need to be in a better position and challenging himself, in the higher division.
That's right.
Again, I'm not saying that a player in the first division can't make the national team or hasn't made the national team, but obviously the national coaches are going to want to see that person in the higher division challenging themselves week in and week out. If you're not dominating in the first division, if you choose to stay in the first, if you're not dominating there, it's going to be very difficult if you have aspirations of trying to play in the national team.
Thank you very much. That's right, and that sets a standard. If you're just playing in that division, you want to stay in that club. I think that's what's happening. Okay, what's your ambition now? You're playing for Hamilton Parish. Now you want to get the national team, but they're going down. You got to make a move. It ain't. No, I just think that now the way they coach the system at the national program is they're looking at players in the high division.
Yeah.
Are you playing there? They're not competing.
We're internationally, we're playing at a level. And you have to be able to get to that level whenever it's called upon. And if you play in the first division, it's very difficult. Unless you have that desire to train on your own, keep yourself going, be on top of everything, it becomes more difficult.
So wait. Let's talk about the other team, and this makes this similar. Is you Village Play today, Daventry Colts. Daventry Colts is similar. Daventry Colts is a town team, and they will have to fight same like Dandytown, Village, Social Club. They're fighting for the same pool of players.
Yeah.
So, but they have it's a little different. They have more of the same thing, a family structure. I play here because my father played here, my grandpa played here. It's
right.
Some players are not leaving because somebody gave them a bike or somebody gave them $3,000. Like, my mama would kill me if I left her and play somebody else. So it's a different sort of vibe. Like they have a bond. It's a little different.
Yeah. Well, and that's a valid point as well. It's up to the individual, but it's also up to the individual to make sure that they stay on top of what they're doing if they have aspirations, you know what I mean, to play in the national team. Yeah. If they have aspirations of being scouted or going off to school or something, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You have to put yourself in that position before you even go to training.
Right. Yeah. At least what I'm saying, guys, even like the teams that are going to be promoted, Crossroads and Boulevard. Yeah. Boulevard's going to need restructuring. They're going to definitely need strengthening in areas that need. It ain't just about now just having these gifted young players and not be organized.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the problem with Wolves are.
Yeah.
I think Paget is reaching the point where the gifted young players are attracting more players, but they're organized.
Yeah.
I think that's and I think it's coming around to that in this country. Whereas the best young players need to be in better teams to be looked at for the national program.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, every footballer should have that ambition.
Yep, exactly.
You want to represent the country. First of all, you want to represent your club every week to the best of your ability. So you have to put yourself in that position to make sure that you can do that. And then obviously make it be recognized, because everybody wants to be recognized for what they're able to do. And
yes,
call up.
Exactly.
Even if it's in a select team, but just be recognized for what you've been able to do for your club.
So I would say, like, now that you raise it, Crossroads is a similar sort of vibe in that community.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Before when they were going through Ramadan and they applied to BFA, they had like 12 players that were going through Ramadan and were fast. Like, but they were all like, it had more of a religious feel. They were all together, close knit. It was that same vibe. If you build on that, you have that same sort of thing.
I think they've regenerated that back into the program where you see now guys who have been playing for them for quite some time are now back playing for them. Where over the last few years they had a lot of guys coming from different clubs helping them throughout the season. But now it looks like it's down to them and they've got that harmony. Despite losing today, but they have that harmony. So let's take another commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the first division. And now, obviously, Griff's good week in the picks. We're right now.
Over the pink sands, beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermuda. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years, it's been clear, Legit silence for leave Bermuda, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Is proudly Bermudian.
Stay refreshed and on track with Viva Zero Calorie. With all the tastes and none of the calories, Viva is your perfect companion for workouts, busy days, or just relaxing. Distributed by John Barrett & Sons and available at Lindo's, Viva Zero Calorie brings you the hydration you crave without compromise. Viva, your zero-calorie hydration solution. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Putting down the weapons.
You seeing this?
And welcome back. Well, let's turn our attention to that first division where we would have thought this particular match, Robin Hood versus Crossroads, would have been to decide a title, but Robin Hood didn't have the season they would have hoped for. But in the end, they jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first half. Crossroads were able to pull 2 goals back, but couldn't get the equalizer. So they lost only their second time in the league this year, losing to Robin Hood. But at the end of the day, Crossroads were presented the first division trophy for a season a long season, hard work, and now they've achieved their goal of getting back to the Premier Division. A lot of work will go on now in the off season for them, but looking at a team like Robin Hood, who now have to look for another season in the First Division, they have a lot of youngsters. It's keeping them and try to recruit some more to make the team a little stronger. Griff, let me start with you. If you talk a little bit about Crossroads.
Yeah, this is a little surprising, but not surprising. On the way to the village game, I saw they had their motorcade going and they were celebrating as they should. So maybe they switched off a bit and they were already celebrating before this game was over because they already had the league wrapped up. So maybe that's what it was. But I think it also puts into perspective what Devonshire Coates did last season. It's not easy to go the entire season undefeated.
Right.
So, when you're loving to play ball, like I don't expect to see the same intensity from North Village as I saw today because it's wrapped up. So same here with Crossroads. They won the league. They're hoping to get through it. It was a close game. It could either way. So yeah, not totally surprising, but I am a little surprised.
Yeah. Punchy, your thoughts on Robin Hood? I mean, they were able to beat Crossroads today, but when obviously it's going to be some work to do for Sequoia if he stays there over the summer.
Yeah, I still think that they are. I just think in Robin Hood's ambitions, are they really thinking about promotion, or are they just thinking about what they do in terms of for players' development? Are they still like I have this feeling that they're there for development. What goes? So really, I don't know if they're really interested in. Maybe they are, but the question will be about: are they really interested, really caring about being promoted and what they're going to do in the long run?
Right.
In terms of
remember, they have that affiliation with Work Academy now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So in the coming years, they would have players that will filter into that senior team from the youth programs because they have to work, and they have to wait till they build that right up. But at least they have something in the background working for them. Hopefully that relationship continues to grow and they are able to make it work for them.
Yeah, but I think also we got to look at the fact that a lot of them go over to school after that when they get certain age.
Yeah.
So there's also when they come back, some of them going to academies overseas. So I just think when you look at the overall, looking at the program, what they want to do, what I think is what I see is that they're a development team. Yeah. Promotion will promotion be paramount for them, or is it okay? Well, this is what we're doing. This is what our club is about. They're different from the North Villages and the PHCs, and some is a quick club too. Yeah. Not that those clubs are not development teams, but I think Robin is looking like a farm team. So and when you guys get back older, they'll start moving on to other teams, which is okay.
Agree with you, Punchy, because looking at it like realistically, a 16, 17-year-old. If you're relying on him in a premier team, that's not realistic. It's those players at 16, 17 are exceptional. Like it's not too many of them coming along every year that you're gonna do. And also, and I'm gonna put I'm a Work Academy board member. I'll put that hat on. If you're at Work Academy and you're exceptional at a sport like football or any other sport, and you have the grades, you are not going to be in Bermuda when you're 18. You're going to get at least at the minimum, you're going to a good university. If your football is superior, you're going to go to be on a scholarship at a good college or be in an academy. So maybe you're right. It's just about development.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Being that you brought them up, Somerset Trojans put 8 past Somerset Eagles to claim that Somerset title. They are the better team in the West. But a team like Somerset Trojans, Punchy, obviously they have to start looking towards next season as well. Do those players stay again? They stayed when they went down. Do those players stay there again? and try to make next year a better season, especially at home, because they fell out of the title race with their home performances where they couldn't win at home.
Yeah. It's it's again we were talking about the demise of West End football.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I keep saying that, from Southampton all the way up to Somerset, up to Dockyard. I don't know what I don't know. For me, it's like, what's really going on up at Somerset? And they've been down to what? This is second or third year they're down now?
Yeah, this is the first year. First year this time.
Okay. Yeah. So what is their intentions? Okay, most of our young players go overseas, and that's what's happening. I think what Griffith said on that point about some of those clubs now. A lot of the young players in Bermuda, even if Norfolk is in the PHCs, the young players are leaving early.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're getting at Somerset is maybe one or two older players, but the youngsters that are staying here are probably, are they good enough? Mm-hmm. And are they good enough to play at the in the top division in Bermuda? Yeah. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
We're seeing that. I think what is the program? What is their intent for the next two? What is their intent for the next 2 or 3 years for Somerset Cricket Club as a footballing club?
Right.
Maybe it's I would say it's like what's happening in other places. The 20, 30, 40 years ago, it was Somerset here in the West. It was too much talent. That's how Island Rangers got started. There were players that could never make Somerset's premier team because they were like, it was 20 other guys ahead of them. So I'm never going to play. They had to leave whatever. And that doesn't exist now. Is it that the West End is developing less quality players? I think they have good junior programs. Or maybe there's talented players. Maybe they're playing tennis. Maybe they're playing hockey or volleyball. Are they doing other things? I think the level of talent or track and field, maybe they're doing something else. It seems to be that football may be losing talented athletes.
Yeah.
Good point. That's the discussions that we're having, and I think it's very important to have these discussions about why. And I think Earl, you and I were talking about that last year before Griff came on the show.
Right.
Also, what's really the problem? You're right, Griff. I think that's a good point. Where are all the young talents going now?
They say the same thing about West Indies cricket. A lot of people in the West Indies, they don't play cricket. They don't play basketball or baseball or track and field. They just don't have the same pool of athletes to choose from. So maybe the same thing's happening here.
Yeah.
Good point. Very good point, Griff.
Give us your opinion on Somerset Eagles, because I mean, they've had a rough season, and to finish off losing 8-0 to Somerset.
I think that's one of those ones that we talk about at the end of the season, where you have nothing to play for, and it's dropping off. People aren't training, they don't show up, and you get like if you slip up, you can get smacked in these leagues. So it's a case where Somerset may have had a full contingent, like, okay, we're taking out all our frustrations on them. They didn't show up, and we're gonna show them not to show up.
Yeah. Then the final.
For me, I just want to add to that. In all honesty, you guys, the Somerset Eagles is just, it's really another case study for the West End. The demise of Somerset Eagles, the whole program, the football program is just in tatters. It's bad. It's terrible. From what they were going back 5 or 6, we're going right back now when the Dale Russells were playing for him and Kenny Thompson. I mean, it's unbelievable what's happening. And I think we're talking about why this is happening at Somerset Eagles. Now, where's the talent there? Watch them play. Look at the scores. I mean, there's no talent there. And if there is, why would they stay at Somerset Eagles? And so you see the demise of a club like that. And is that what's going to happen to a lot of these clubs in this country? Like the likes of Somerset Eagles, Island Rangers, they're just about had it, really.
So that's why I was asking you the question earlier about Paget. Because you can go back 10, 15 years when Kenny Thompson had the academy that was attached to Somerset Eagles. And at that
Right.
time, Thomas Eagles in the Premier Division, they were fight. I think they lost in the FA Cup final.
Right.
They were doing it, and they had ambitions when they started the club of playing in the CONCACAF Club Championship. They were doing this, and bam, they went off the cliff. So the same thing that I asked you about Antoine Russell, is it the club and the community, or is it the coach they have at present? Because once Kenny stepped away from Summers Eagles, they haven't been the same. They had his assistant, Marlon Rojas.
Yeah.
He kept it together for a little while, and after he left, it's disjointed. You know, so again, is it that community is disjointed? They're not the talent, which I don't think it is. It's the organization and that they need. So the club can't depend on one person as the coach. It has to be an overall community thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a joint. It's got to be a joint thing. Players, coaches, fans, club, everybody. It's got to be a combined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So are you saying, hey Griff, are we talking about, before I go on, even Crossroads today? They lost to Robin Hood. Now, their organization is good, but do they have quality of players? Do you think on a Saturday afternoon they got to go to St. George's, they're going to beat St. George's? So my point is that even though you have numbers, you still got to have quality in organization. Wolves is another thing that they have some quality, but there's a lack of organization. And I think we'll talk, like I'm saying, when we put those together, I'm questioning about Boulevard next year. I'm questioning about Boulevard's existence in this division next year. And Crossroads. Yeah.
So Punchy, I don't know the answer to that, but I think let's say the binding influence on Crossroads is that they have that Muslim background as religion. I think it's easier recruiting from the mosque than from the street. That's
okay.
Yeah. Well, the final first division game this weekend was Vasco going down Wellington Oval and beating St. David's 2-1. We looked at that team. We looked at that game.
Wow.
What the two teams had to play for, but obviously Vasco wanted to finish a lot stronger than St. David's. I thought St. David's would have wanted to finish strong, having fallen off the rails after Christmas. Just before Christmas, leading the league, and now you almost finish, as the last place team. Let's see. Actually, no, they don't finish. They finish second to last, but they lose to the last place team on the final day of the season.
Hey, I don't want to say I tell you guys, but I'm gonna stop myself up. I tell you guys, stop believing in Cinderella stories. The Davis going to finish strong in him and blah, blah. I tell you, Vasco was playing better.
Well, you're wearing Vasco's colors anyway, so.
Hey,
yeah.
Come into this. I'll tell you guys, I was brilliant before I put this shirt on.
I got you.
Well, let's look at our picks from last week or this week. Obviously, we all took Devonshire Cougars to beat Social Club, and that happened 4-1 for Devonshire Cougars. I took Paget. Griff took Paget. Wolves were taken by Punchy, and Paget won that 4-2. Both Punchy and Griff took PHC. I took Dandy Town. PHC won that 3-1. I took a draw for North Village and Devonshire Colts today. Punchy and Griff both took North Village. North Village won that 4-0. We all took St. George's Coast to defeat Hamilton Parish, and St. George's won that 5-2. Myself and Punchy took St. David's. Griff, you took Vasco. Vasco won that 2-1. We all took Crossroads to defeat Robin Hood, and Robin Hood won that game 3-2. And we all took Somerset Trojans to defeat Somerset Eagles, and Somerset Trojans won that 8-0. So at the end of the day, I finished with 4. Punchy finished with 5. Griff finished with 7.
Hey, all I want to say is, right, Just like North Village having to get the 3 points today with 1 week to go, I think we know who our picks champs going to be this season.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm on 42, Punchy's on 45, and Griffith's on 48.
Night. Thanks for coming out.
We do have 5 games. Well, 6 games in total. I'm sorry, 7 games in total left because the Rangers Boulevard game that was postponed this weekend due to not enough officials will be played next weekend to wrap up the first division. So there's going to be 6 games next week, and then the FA Cup final. So we're going to start off with the game that now only means one team can get closer to the other, or the other team stays or goes even further, and that's North Village host PHC. I'm gonna go with PHC, Griff. So I know you should go with North Village. Punchy?
I'm going with North Village. That's gonna be a grudge match. As my nephew told you, I think with Patches and the mentality that he's putting what he's set into these guys, that game's over. That victory today is over. The league is won. Enjoy yourself. But next Sunday coming up, they're gonna be ready, or Saturday, they're gonna be ready for PHC because they want to make sure they carry over for the FA Cup final.
Sure.
I think there's payback for what they want to do, and I think it's very. I think, he was also talking about shifting the team, making the changes. But I think with Patches, I think it means something to the players. Mm-hmm. So I think they're gonna go down. I'm going with North Village to win that next Sunday.
Sure. Griff?
Yes. So I want to just draw a parallel today with the Crossroads game. Is over. Village is coasting. The focus on the FA. I'll go with PHC.
Okay. Okay. So second match, Devonshire Cougars and Wolves. If Wolves win, they stand a chance of staying up. If they lose, they are the second team relegated. Punchy, you're up.
Devonshire Cougars going to put the nail in the coffin. That's it. They will not lose to Wolves because they have a FA Cup game coming up. Right. Final coming up, and it's just like they did the Social Club. I don't think they're going to falter. I think they're up for it mentally. They're going to beat Wolves is going down.
Okay.
I'm going with Devonshire Cougars for that.
Griff?
Again, there's March Madness, Cinderella, and all that. I don't know what on the internet, but this ain't ABC. It's not an after school special. It's going to be carnage. Devonshire Cougars all the way.
And I'm going to take Devonshire Cougars as well. Then the next game, Griff, you're up. Paget Lions host Devonshire Colts.
Where's that game?
Southampton Oval.
Oval. Yeah. I'll go Paget. Paget's going to finish strong.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Paget as well. They're going to want to make sure that Diage gets the
golden boot.
They're going to be pushing for that, playing well, restricting Devonshire Colts to not score, but getting their player in position to score. So I'm going to take Paget for that game as well. Punchy?
I'm taking Paget. I'm with you guys. I mean, they have much more to play for. They have much more integrity. I think I won't say integrity. I just think that with Paget on now, the past that line was, we're just showing up. They will show up to play and win. Because I just think they're trying to build it, and I say they're trying to build an institution there. They're trying to build an institution there. So it ain't like just showing up on next Sunday to play against what's the name? No, it ain't gonna happen. No, I think they're gonna beat. They will win.
And I can say this now that we all pick the same. I saw some Devonshire Colts players limp off after today's game, so I think they might be under strength next week.
Yeah.
Got you. Mm-hmm.
The next game is Social Club against Hamilton Parish. Now, Social Club need a win to just assure themselves that they stay up. Hamilton Parish will want to win at least another game in the Premier Division before they spend the season in the First Division. But I'm gonna go with Social Club because they will be hungry to reassure themselves of a spot in the Premier Division next season.
Wait, I think you got. I didn't hear your pick. Earl, who you pick?
Social Club.
All right.
You're gonna take Social Club too. That's the best way to. Punchy.
I'm taking Social Club. It's very obvious that Social Club have a lot more to play for. Yeah. I think Social Club will win that game. I'm picking Social Club.
Yeah.
So as I said last week, I said before last week, it's no way Social Club goes on. Social Club's gonna win this, and as it was, I sat with Pinks Lewis at Police Club after the game today. So basically, it also they have to lose. Parish got to win. It's got to be like a double-digit swing and goal difference. It ain't happening.
No, it's 8-2.
Yeah, it's kind of you guys. It's kind of scary because you got a national team coach at Hamilton Parish, and they're gonna be relegated. It's really something else. What is Sergio Godin not doing, or what are the players not doing? So, what's he going to do next year? And I think we have the discussion. But anyway, that's what I'm saying about. It's a food for thought about that.
Yeah,
Mourinho has been fired 4 times, so I'll give Sergio a pass.
Say it again.
Jose Mourinho has been fired 4 times, so I'll give Sergio a pass.
Did Jose Mourinho get relegated?
No, but
okay.
It's close to the same, though. It's expected to do more.
All right, next game.
Is it the wrong club?
Interesting enough, it's St. George's Colts hosting Dendy Town Hornets. Punchy, you're up.
It's over for Dendy Town. St. George is gonna win that game. Dendy Town are just look. My point is this, sir. I'm gonna say this, sir, too. McCall and Giroux and the expectations were high. Not right away, but what I've seen from them and the people, the mentality there at Dennytown, imagine that, like what they got to deal with, the mentality. What Giroux, what he's got to deal with now, Giroux Haywood, and seeing that it's probably like wow. I just think that Dennytown need a restructuring with players, not so much the coaching staff, with players and their behavior and what they want to do. And I think Dennytown, St. George is going to beat them. Dennytown ain't going to have to play for, and they will act like it.
Okay. I would have to agree on that because I think 2 games ago, Dennytown had 3 red cards.
Thank you very much.
One red card. So somewhere in this, the cards are playing a factor, and the numbers maybe just I would go with St. George's.
Okay, I'm going to take St. George's as well to win at home. Final game is the one that from the First Division. Griff, you're up. Southampton Rangers and the Boulevard Blazers. Last week we all took Boulevard.
What was the score this week for Boulevard?
They didn't play. This game didn't have enough officials to
make
play
up
it this week, so they moved it.
Again, I think I picked Boulevard last week. I'll stick with Boulevard in a 5-4 game.
Okay, I'm gonna take the Blazers as well. They're gonna want to finish strong. Punchy?
That's an easy answer. That's Boulevard.
Yes. No way. Rangers ain't got a chance.
We're talking about people. We're talking about a club that's in the demise of what? Like, let me. I'll say it to you. What is their intent? When we talk about intentions, Rangers. I don't even. Wow.
Maybe Keith plays and gets a hat trick. Who knows?
Yeah. They didn't even have a junior program there.
The problem with that is they may give up 6 goals themselves.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I said, They don't even have a junior program, and that's it.
Keeper have to be striker and goalkeeper.
Wow.
Well, let me just before we run off, let me just run down the league standings as it is. As we said, North Village are champions on 37 points with one game to play. PHC Zebras are in second with 33 points with one game to play. St. George's Colts are in third with 29 points with one game to play. Devonshire Colts are in fourth on 27 points with one game to play. Devonshire Cougars are in fifth on 27 points, but the goal difference, Devonshire Colts have a better goal difference with one game to play. Dandytown Hornets are on 26 with one game to play. Paget Lions are in seventh with 2 games to play on 25 points. Young Man Social Club are in eighth with 2 games to play on 14 points. Wolves are in ninth on 11 points with 1 game to play. And Hamilton Parish have been relegated with 1 game to play on 9 points at the bottom of the table. So it's all about positioning next week to see where you end up. And I'm pretty sure a team like North Village will be happy where they are. St. George's, if they could finish in third, would be a big improvement from what they did last season as far as league standings. I know they would be disappointed in not being able to defend that FA Cup title, but it just goes to show that their program is growing. Paget have an opportunity to gain six more points that will put them up to 31, and that will lift them up the standings as well. So, next week is a telling week. Actually, I'm thinking that Paget and Young Masters Club have to play at some point this week.
Make up games, right?
We better pick. We better pick that game now. So I'm gonna take Paget winning over Social Club. Punchy?
I'm taking Paget. I mean, I just think the Social Club is just, I tell you, I always say it again. I think Paget's reached Paget's at a time now where these games matter to beat Social Club, to beat the Hamilton Parishes, to beat the Wolves. Like, they know they're going to beat those games. They have to, and they act like it.
Yeah.
The problem is then now when they come against the North Villages and the PHCs, but the games that matter, and the Devonshire Colts and the Cougars, and so Paget all the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm a nice guy. I want to try to give you guys a chance so I don't flog you by a lot, but I just can't pick against Paget at this point. I'm about to get Paget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. There you have it. The picks for this week coming up. Good luck again. And again, congratulations to both North Village and Crossroads for being crowned the champions of the Premier Division and First Division. North Village will be presented their trophy after the match against PHC next weekend. I guess it'll be celebration time at Bernard Park yet again. So I want to thank you guys for joining this evening. We'll be back next week Sunday with another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. Enjoy your night, guys.
I just want to say one more thing. I say, hopefully next season we can work out some sort of way so that everybody else can make picks, because I'm tired of smoking these guys like a cheap cigar. It's too easy. I need competition around here.
See how you see what
Yeah, dude.
you see how when you're on top of something, you could easily fall. See, oops.
Hey,
Flipped.
hey, it's a long way on to you guys from where I'm looking.
Hey, remember, it's only one season at a time, brother.
Yeah,
right,
but you might be just
enjoy
like
your cigar.
that.
Enjoy your time with Top. You got it.
All right, guys.
All right, have a good night.
Yes, sir.
Easy.